Ray Doolin hopping on. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey with all of us. I am just waiting for him to just come through and request to join. And we will get this shit cracking. Super excited. Go on, my love. Ask to join. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Perfect. Let's see. Waiting for it to. Hello. Morning.
Good morning.
Good glorious morning. Oh my goodness. It's been a long time coming. I've been looking forward to this for a very long time.
Likewise.
Oh my goodness. All right. So I've already done a little intro, just saying, hey, introducing you. But tell us a little bit about yourself. Let's just dive right in, because I know you got like something going on in a little bit.
Yeah, I'm in transition today. I'm moving on to my next travel place. So yeah.
You sound like me. Are you also a nomad as well too?
I am, yeah.
Yes.
And now
Okay,
here
so
we go.
yeah, so I'm a nomad, a wanderer, and a gypsy at heart. I just can't help myself. I don't know how to stay in one place for too long.
Yeah, I mean, I guess likewise, or that's the process I'm in the midst of, I guess. So, yeah, but so I'm doing that. But I'm Gray Doolin. I'm a desire and sexuality coach, and I help women or assigned female at birth folks name, acknowledge, and explore their desires. That's the sort of quick and easy about the work that I do.
What got you into doing stuff like that? Like what really because I was looking at your Instagram and I remember I sent you a comment on one of your reels. I was like, yes, when you were doing the yes.
The yeses,
oh
yeah.
My gosh. That's when it first started. That's when I first seen you, and I was like, yep, it's happening.
Yeah. Your only job is to say yes in whatever way. Yeah.
I know, and I love the different ways. If you guys haven't seen it, go see it. Go check out that reel. It is awesome. That's what actually got my wheels turning with this one. I had to just get this whole thing started. It was beautiful. And then I've just seen you just go ever since then, and I just love seeing the message that you put out to the world.
Thank you. Thanks. Also just want to say a quick hi to Aaron and Freya for being on the call today. It's nice to see you all. We're having happy Monday mornings. Thanks for joining us. How did I get... so it's been a wandering path. My formal education and background is in mental health. So I have a master's degree in counseling, and I did 6 years of a PhD in counseling psychology. So I was trained to be a therapist. But as is the case in everything that I've done in my life, I'm nothing is status quo. These systems, the traditional therapeutic system, the academia, they've all been too constraining for me. And so I left all of those traditional paths and have been on the path of entrepreneurship since 2015 in some form or another. And then at the end of September last year, left my day job for good. And have been doing my
round of applause.
I know. I can't believe it's almost been a year. It's been a wild ride. But yeah, that coincided last year when I left. It also coincided with the beginning of me doing sex work. So working as an escort, I had an OnlyFans at that time, and so really started to explore and embody my desire in a new, a whole other way. Just really give myself permission to sort of go into that full blast. And as is often the case, I feel like this as I began to give myself permission to do these things, it became clear to me that my work has always been about empowering folks with marginalized identities to step into their power. But I think as I began to give myself more permission around my desire, I was just like, oh shit, this is hot, this turns me on, and I want to help people live their most embodied, because I just that energy is it's our vitality. I'm a generator in human design, so I move from my sacral area. That is what governs everything in my world. Is it a yes? Is it a no? I ask my sacral area about that.
Yes.
And it's yeah. So it's my life force. It's how I make my decisions, and it just once I have stepped into the power of that, it's just my life has transformed significantly and our bodies, everything's in our body. It's the way, it's the channel. It has wisdom.
The energy. It's like an exchange of energy, because it really is an exchange of energy.
Totally.
Especially I don't know, when I was just kind of having my fair share with a bunch of people. It's just when you're exchanging that type of energy, you can also feel what they're also bringing to the table too. So you're just is this good? Is this bad? I can feel you're going through something right now, but and then just you don't they're not verbally saying it, but they're their bodies are physically actually telling you and kind of showing you exactly what is going on, which is actually very interesting. That's why I like how you literally brought that up, because it is an exchange of energy.
Yep.
Now I'm going to bring up the sacral part, because that part was very sexy. I love how you brought that up. I'm you ask your sacral area, which is the chakras.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying this for people who are
sure,
gonna see this video for later. When you're asking, explain that a little bit. And that's my dog, just so you know, he's over here playing his bed. If you heard that little scarf a little bit, he's playing his bed.
You're a nomad. Are you traveling with a dog?
Okay, so currently I'm actually at in mi casa. I was in San Jose for 10 days.
Okay.
And I literally just drove back last night. I got home by 12-ish. So I was I was done. I was fresh. Wash my mouth. Do all the good stuff. And I was time to go to bed. I gotta wake up in the morning. I was fuck that. Pew. Let's go.
I love that we're finding each other between your transition and when I'm taking off. I love that we're this.
I know.
We are this morning. I know.
The end to a beginning, to a new beginning.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm always going. It's every 2 weeks I'm gone.
Okay.
Every 2 weeks. Yeah. Off doing something else.
Totally. I get that. The sacral, my body again is feels it's my receptor, it's my antenna, it's what I pay attention to in terms of yes or no's, and my energy center, my primary one is my sacral area. And so and I got this from some human design thing online, but literally these sacral sounds where I hum into my body, either a mm-hmm or a mm-mm. And so I can feel the resonance, if I say a yes to something or a no, I can feel the resonance of that in my body, and is it a yes or is it a no? And my body will, the way that it sort of hums and vibrates in there will clearly tell me.
And you're humming to your body, which is to your sacral area, and then you're basically, you just said, asking, is this something that is interested? My body's also interested in as well too, and also with them vice versa. Is that what you're asking when you're doing it?
Well, it's more of a solo practice, but that can be used definitely to go into an exchange with other people. I think that the setting up my saying yes to my work, or or saying yes to particular clients that reach out around boundaries, is this a person I want to meet up with? Is this a person I want to give my address to? Is this a person, I think you could insert any question in there for me and run that by sort of how that resonates in the body to say yes or no to. Absolutely.
Okay. I like that, because it's I haven't been having any kind of sex or intimacy with anybody aside from myself lately, which is it's a long time for me. It's with everything that's happened, it's been the first time in a long time that I haven't let anyone or me myself had any fun with another person. So I really love this conversation with the sacral part, and actually genuinely asking and getting a response back. What kind of response do you, you said, it hums back to you? Do you feel it? Is more of a vibration?
Yeah, I think it's just the sort of resonance of a yes or if it feels alive and lit up, that feels a clear yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And a no has that kind of closed, kind of constricted feeling.
Okay.
Open and expansive is a yes.
Yeah, where you feel the excitement. You're just
yeah.
But then the no is just It's more subtle, more just kind of quiet, just like crickets.
Yep.
That's what I'm imagining. Like when I'm like, because I'm gonna actually start doing a little. That actually sounds a lot of fun. Because I have been talking to a few people, but not like where it's been sexual, kind of like that. So if it does end to get to that, then it would be more of just being like, is this something to move forward with, something to just kind of like keep waiting on, just kind of keep building, and like asking them what their interests are as well too, and just kind of just going from there.
Yeah. I think that this process of developing self-trust, right, which is like one of the pillars of this embodied manifestation method that I work with, like, I think especially for those of us socialized as female who have like experienced some like trauma or harm, or like from masculine folks or from the patriarchy, like all of us have, and like really internalize that. I think that there's this pressure to like get it right, so I don't set myself up for like harm again. Like I need to have it perfect right now. And I think that as we like build resilience, I think both build capacity in our bodies for that kind of resilience is like we get to make mistakes, and it's like, and they don't feel so threatening, or that it is the end all be all if like maybe this time we give this person a little more leeway than we might have before. Like it's not like when we build that resilience within our bodies, like it's not going to crush us because we're like in right relationship with ourselves enough to know that like I'm going to be okay. Like, and I think that like uncertainty piece that comes along with dating and intimacy, like some of us just don't have capacity to withstand that, and that's okay. But I think then the question is, like, how do we begin to build that in our bodies so that we can kind of hang out in that testing out period? Because that's what building any kind of intimacy, whether it's friendship or a new collaboration or dating, like that's what intimacy and relationship building is. It's like we're building this thing together that feels uncertain and tenuous. Do we have the capacity to like hold that in our bodies?
Ugh, juicy stuff. Oh, I love it. I'm sitting here just very, very grateful. Is there any questions that you have for me? Because I'm gonna just keep going. With you. I'm just so happy to be on with you. I'm like, I can keep going with you all day.
I mean, what do you love about like giving people access to like toys that give them pleasure?
Okay, so what gives me, let's see, what I love about it is because it's more on the personal side. I remember someone actually asked me in one of the first videos I've ever done live. She actually asked me the question of, do you have a specific toy for everybody? Absolutely not. Everyone is completely different. Everyone is catered differently. I have a few people who I've like communicated with where, like, let's just say you direct message me. You send me a picture of something that you've seen on my website. Then I won't let you just stick with that option. I'm not just going to be like, okay, cool. Like this isn't Amazon. You just go, you see what you like, you go to purchase it, and I'm just going to let you just kind of roll with it. Especially if you direct message me, and you don't just purchase it from my website. It's going down. So I'll ask you a series of questions. So like, let's just say you send me a, like, I don't know, cuffs, or even whatever it may be. I don't know. We can just, I don't know what, I will just say cuffs for right now. Or I can just be specific with even somebody else that I'm actually currently helping. I'm like, this individual was sent me a picture of a rabbit. I was like, okay, cool. So I know that they have the intention of a rabbit. So I go and ask them, that one's a very strong toy. I let them know this one's going to be one of the stronger of the toys, but it also has a nice transition where it's super slow, to where if you're not used to kind of like that type of power down in that area, then at least you can kind of transition, because it goes extremely low vibration to when you push that button to crank that up, it's going high. Like bells are ringing, you're awake, it's going down. And then what was it? It's rechargeable, it's silicone, non-porous, hypoallergenic. That's everything that I'll tell this person, and I'll do it over a voice recording, because when I'm texting, I'm just like, the texting just for me, I'm just like, so I'll send a voice message and I'll just like describe exactly like what I'm explaining. And then I'll give them possibly 2 other options of what they're looking for. So I'm like, okay, so you're specifically looking for a rabbit. You don't want it to be just an external or like just an internal toy where it's playing with the G spot or playing with the clitoris. And then that person was like, no, I really do just want a rabbit. Then I gave them another option of another toy, letting them know because they needed a certain size as well too, for specific reasons. And I let them know because with the product, I have them. So I'm just like, hey, this one's gonna be like a little bit too big for what you're going for. Don't want you to kind of like overreach with whatever it is that you have. So let's kind of steer you towards this one right here. Does all the same shenanigans. Is not as strong, but it is strong, where it has like a nice vibration, and it almost feels like someone's kind of like fingering you and like playing with your clit at the same time. Whereas with the other one, it's more of like you have it longer. It is a little thicker at the entrance with the head. And then with the clit, you kind of have to like push it down a little bit. Whereas with the other one, it's just like, it literally just feels like someone's doing this to you. And person fell in love, was like, thank you for, giving me the option of, not just letting me just purchase something like that and just kind of going with this other thing as well too. And, talking to me about it and like letting me know all the details. One's rechargeable, one's not rechargeable. You do need AAA batteries, but trust me, this one's very sexy. Works just the same. Don't be steered away with the battery or anything. Like, this wondrous, glorious creature will do everything that is sexy as well as this one.
Yeah.
It's just obviously with the size and everything that you're looking for, this one is where it's at.
Yeah.
For me, the satisfaction of helping people like specifically cater to what they're going for, that's what fuels me. Like, I love specifically going for not what you think that you're like, because you just never know. You're looking at a wall full of dildos, people, and you're just like, holy shit, do I want it to vibrate? Do I not want it to vibrate? Do I want this person to know what I'm about to buy? Because long drawn out story, I used to work at an adult novelty store for a few years, and it was the love of my life.
Yeah.
Aside from my dog. Like, this is my king. This is my king. This is my baby. That's my ride or die. Okay. But that was like, I didn't even, people, when they came in, because it was a cute ass little boutique.
Yeah.
When people came in, they literally thought I was the owner because of how I treated the place. Like, how I walked around the store, where I was just like, hey, this is who I am. If there's anything that you're interested in, just let me know. No need to be shy. Mi casa y su casa. And then I would just kind of like go from there, move on, go to somebody else whenever somebody else would walk in. A lot of the time, because people didn't really know like how that store worked in particular, and I was extremely grateful how that store worked, because when you go into a typical sex or adult novelty store, they don't give a fuck. They're just there for the hour, like, for what they don't want to like. They don't care what you're interested in. If you ask them a question, because I've been to multiple of them just to kind of like see how they all work, they're just kind of just like yes, no, not like actually just kind of like getting into it, where it's like, when you're at the end, it just feels more like you're like, fuck yeah, I can't wait to go fuck myself with this toy later. Like, this person like genuinely helped me out and not just like let me just stare at this thing for like 20 whole minutes knowing this is awkward. And it's just like, no, I got you.
Yeah.
Here, let's go. And then like I would go up to the person, let's just say like, some people would be really shy. I would go up and be like, oh, what size are you looking for? Because like if I see like they're looking at a wall full of awesomeness, I will just be like, especially if they've already picked up something, like let's just say, because we obviously have to make sure people aren't going to steal. Those are fun stories as well too, but we'd have to make sure people weren't stealing. And I would see a specific size whenever we were watching them. I'm like, okay, so they want a 6, or ooh, they're looking for a 10, and then I'm like, ooh, so I would go up to the person, whether it's a man or a woman, and I'd be like, okay, so are you specifically looking for a 10, or are you looking for something around that size? Then they're like, they'll just look at me or just dead face, like, I'm like, It's totally fine. You're in a safe area. Like I've been doing this for a little bit. I can really just help you out and kind of like cater to the needs that you're going for. Even ask you questions you weren't even thinking when you came in, and then really give you what you're looking for, and then just kind of just go from there. So that is everything for me.
Yeah, no, I can feel the passion behind it, and yeah. Well, this, I mean, so much of this sort of like increasing like this capacity to sit in sensation. I feel like when people come into adult stores or like looking for sex toys, like there's so much, there's just discomfort and shame or embarrassment or like, right, can I like let this person know that I'm looking for a 10 instead of a 6? And what
or
does
a
that mean
12.
about me?
That's the biggest we got, baby. What
right?
do you want?
It doesn't mean anything.
My love, I got you.
10.
Just tell me. I know where you're gonna put it.
Yeah,
like, let's just go. It's okay.
Exactly. Like
you're gonna pay for it with me anyway, so don't be embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, oh my God. Sometimes I loved interacting with. There's sometimes with couples too. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's fun all on its own as well too, because like. When you're getting into couples and they're staring at the wall too, you kind of like got to be a little more like sensitive with the couples area, because you don't know a lot of the time if it really is genuinely for her or if it's for him and they're exploring pegging.
Yeah, totally.
That was the biggest thing too. I remember just like being in there, and then the couples, you can just see them just holding hands, just shaking like, and like chihuahuas. You're just like, it's gonna be okay, my loves. Mama's here. It's okay. Let's go. I want to help you. And then once they get like the energy that I'm like welcoming, and that's what really just like kind of breaks the barriers. My tone and then the energy that I'm bringing to them, like it's like gentle, a little bit of a powerhouse, like I kind of bring the heat where I'm just kind of like, they see it where I'm like, oh shit, like she's really like, she really wants to help us, but she's making this like fun and energetic where like we were nervous, now we're like empowered to want to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like this is like, ooh, I'm excited.
Right. They're like ready to go home and fuck with their new toy.
Yeah, let's go. The juices are already flowing while we're in the store. Oh my God. Let's go do this.
Totally.
And working with couples, honestly, I think that's probably one of my favorite things as well too, just because you just never know like with them like what you're calling for. Because I remember there's this one couple, they were so standoffish. She was not. She was super chill. Like she was just looking at me like, we don't know what we're doing. And I'm like looking at her eyes like, I got you, baby. And then I'm going up to them and he's just like, don't come up to us.
Yeah.
But I go up to them, let them know, hey, I'm here for you guys if there's any questions that you have, because he was very standoffish. He's like, honestly, like just no. Left them alone for another 5 more minutes. That's just a lot of extra time for them where they're just like, holy moly, staring at the same wall. And they're just like, I see them looking at other people, looking at them, just being like, staring at it. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do the loop again. So I'm like going up to these other people, catering to them as well too, because I already know that here he kind of was like standoffish. Go to these other people, let them know, hey, I'm here for you. If there's anything that you're looking for, just let me know. I got you. Make my loop around, because there's like the place can only cater up to like possibly 50 people. The most that's ever been there was like 30. So like I'm just kind of like dancing around all these glorious people, just kind of like helping them. When it is that many people, there's 2 of us in there and we're just kind of like jamming it out. Then I went back to that couple and I was like, I see that they were looking at a specific, I'm like, do you want it to vibrate? Yes or no? Like I just dive right in, because I'm like, I know what size you're going for. Do you want it to vibrate? Oh, you do want it to vibrate? Okay, cool. With this size, you definitely can. Do you care if it looks realistic or not? Then they're like, no, we don't want it to look realistic. I'm like, my loves, you're looking at the wrong wall. No wonder you've been standing here all this entire time. Come follow me. We're going to go to this wall. It vibrates, does everything that you want it to do, doesn't look real at all. Because he was like, oh, this is more just for her. I said, okay. So when he had mentioned that, because she was the more closed off, like quiet, kind of timid, just, like scared being inside of there. So I looked at her, was just letting her know, like, okay, so I know the specific size that you want. You don't want it to look real. I know that you don't really like care what color it is, I would imagine. if you don't want it to look real and everything. Do you want it to have a suction cup, or do you not want it to have a suction cup? Do you just kind of like want it to be more handheld, or what is it, like almost like a strap? Like, what do you?
Mm-hmm.
And then went from there. She started smiling a little bit more, which made me very happy, and she started to talk more. Like, you see, like she was coming out a little bit more, and then they wanted more stuff too. Once like they finally got away from the wall forever. I'm like, it was the wall. They're stuck by the wall. And then once I got them over that wall, they finally got more adventurous with other stuff as well too. So
Nice.
it's I just love I'm not gonna actually have a boutique store. I don't like the thought of being stuck, from a nomad to another.
Yeah.
I actually think of a food truck,
Yeah.
but full of dildos and a bunch of glorious, sexy stuff in there.
Totally.
That's what I'm gonna do. And it's.
But like, what's your? You know how the ice cream truck like has its song? Like, what is your like food truck? What's your like sex truck song gonna be?
I don't know. I guess all the sexy songs created known to man. I'm gonna play them all. I don't really like limiting myself to one specific song. I don't like limiting myself to anything. Like,
I'm beginning to understand that.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to constrain you.
No. Unless it's for
Guys are
funsies, then I don't mind. But it's like, with like a kid, like with life and experience, no, I'm running. You got it. Like, I'm like, like the door is open to absolutely everything. Like, I love experimenting, experiencing, like everything about those words. Like, I love it all. Like, I just love being a part of all of it. So yeah.
Nice.
But that's what I'm gonna do with the food truck, with the adult novelty mobile store.
I love that so much.
It's gonna be fantastic. I thought of the name many years ago, and it's just stuck, which is so fucking funny. I used to be a chef for many years, and I remember just being in the kitchen, just thinking of all these ideas. And this was even before I worked in the adult novelty store. I'm thinking of all these like creative ideas and just kind of going from there. Once I finally got the name, I remember it just slapped me in the face one day, and I was just like, yes, that was a wonderful slap. Oh my gosh, damn. Clitorally Chris, obviously, is the name.
Yes.
And it just stuck, because I'm like, because everyone, with the way that I talk and the way that I am around people, like, people are always like, fucking Chris. Or like, oh, of course she's going to talk about this. That's how my family is, and that's how friends that were a little bit more closed off who knew me, like, during that time, they're just like, man, oh my goodness. So that's why I did Clitorally Chris, because it's more like literally, like literally Chris, like, come on. So I'm like, Clitorally Chris.
Yeah,
like,
very clever. I like it a lot. Yeah.
I was like, I'm running with this name. It's going down. And I fell in love ever since then. And then saw social media as like a huge platform. Because before, I was never a part of the social media game. I never really, I didn't really like get into it. I didn't really care, honestly. I have a Facebook, but never fucking use it. I haven't been on like 20 bajillion years. I just never really used it to my advantage. And then as I started getting into this, Instagram started being a thing. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm going to start running with this. And I really started studying. I was like, studied Instagram, because if I'm going to use this platform as, a means of getting out into the world, I want to study it to the best of my knowledge and really like understand what all of these things actually impact and do with reaching out to people. Because that's really what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We're reaching out to people, expressing what we're doing for the people. So it's been going down, and I've just been super happy, and everything's been really, really juicy. Like, super excited. For all of you who are going to watch this video, I'm telling you right now, go follow him. Oh my gosh, stuff is so fucking juicy. Love seeing those posts every time I see it.
Thank you.
I like the passion behind it. Like, whenever I read those, like when you're doing, because like when you do the post and then like you do the comments under where you're like talking, very impactful stuff, very juicy stuff, people. You're looking for some, advice or needing help, stuff like that, definitely reach out to my man. He'll help you out.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I do use they them pronouns, just as like a heads up.
Okay. Because I didn't see it on your profile.
I know. Yep, I recognize it's not there. I think I had it on there for a long time. Then I don't know if it was like the limited characters or whatever. But yeah,
they them.
I do use they them. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
No, because I literally I went on your profile, looked and everything, and I was like, I seen on the top. I was like, okay, because normally it's like when people like a form of expression, like they'll put it on there too. I was like, okay, so maybe I'll just kind of like go around and. But I appreciate you for correcting me. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I go as she, her, queen, goddess.
Amazing. I can show up for that for sure.
I'm like, those are my wondrous creatures over there. But what do you got going on for today? Like, I know that you're like going to do your adventures. What is it that you're doing? Is it like, you said it's a project.
Well, it's my offering, like my one-on-one offering right now. So, so I've been a couple weeks here in Marshall, Minnesota, where I did the first 3 years of my undergrad. I've been staying with a college friend out on the like rural prairie here, and so I'm headed back to Minneapolis today to fly out tomorrow, and I'll be doing. So my one-on-one offering are these intimacy intensives, where I am coming together with one other person, and it is exactly what it sounds like. So it's a container. So we start out with a negotiations conversation around: is this going to be an exchange of sexual energy? Is it like, or what level of intimacy are we going to be engaging with? So it's the whole setup is the negotiations, and then we have the actual
consent is sexy.
Consent's so hot, like on every level, you know.
Yeah. Just hearing you say it, I'm just like, get that consent, baby. Yeah. Get that motherfucking consent.
Yes, totally. Well, I made a post yesterday about this. Like, I think for folks who haven't like done a negotiations conversation or even practiced, I mean, even going to a sex store and talking about what you want. I mean, so many of us like just aren't even practiced in saying what we desire and what we want.
Yes, that's why yours truly is here, because it's like,
I know.
People, I got you. Like, I wish I could be in all the stores at once and just be like, party people, move over just a little bit. I got you. Let's just start educating people on like, and not just fucking just letting them just go willy-nilly all over the place. Right. These people don't know. You know, I think that would be like a next venture after the truck is just being like expressing that to people, just being like, you know, when you go into these stores, really just expressing it, you know, just being like, be open and doing all this stuff. With being okay with wanting to purchase this and somebody actually educating you behind it and letting you know, like, is this good? Is this not good? You know, like, this is what I'm looking for. And like kind of asking them, because every time you ask me things I didn't even know I would even, you know, want. Yeah. Or thought I needed. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think that, you know, as we were talking about before, and like same with these like in person or with the like in real time conversations, like people just they don't have the practice saying, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, these are my hard lines. I mean, I run into a lot of sort of like, I don't know. I think maybe this thing, or I have curiosity in trying this thing, but like, I really don't know. And that's okay. And again, it goes back to this thing we were talking about at the beginning about this development of self-trust, is that like, okay, so we can like start out with these parameters about what you know you like or don't like, and then we'll fill in the blanks. And like, that's, you know, I'm very upfront in my work, is that like, so we have this initial like 90-minute negotiations conversation before we come together in person.
Yes.
But like, we're going to be
okay.
negotiating the entire time that we spend together, because it is like, whether it's a one-off time that you're having sex with a partner or with a stranger or whatever, that communication, like, it's just part of the process. It's like, so you're in the midst of doing something and it doesn't feel good. I need to know that, you know, like people, you know, as the top, or like the sort of person running the fuck, that's the like, you know, I have been asked a lot, like, how do I convince women or folks to feel safe with me? And it's like, I'm not convincing anyone of anything. Like,
beautiful.
I'm setting up the container in the way that I know how, and that's part of the negotiations conversation, is to have the sturdiness to hold it. But like, part of it is this exchange. Like, I need you to tell me if something doesn't feel good, if you feel unsafe. Like, if all of these things come up, like, you are also responsible for your safety in this. Like, you have to let me know in order for me to then show up in this different way or to interact with you differently. It like safety doesn't belong to anyone else except us as participants in our exchange.
100%.
You know?
Man, oh my goodness, party people. I hope you're taking notes. This is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, the amount of joy coming out of me right now. You see all this light? That's inside right now. I'm like, just beaming. It's beautiful. Honestly, yes. I feel like the art of communication, because I do call it an art, because it is a true form of something that is being lost because people are so stuck in like just wanting to text somebody because they don't know how to do it in person.
Yeah.
And it's just like, honestly, just be yourself. Literally, just anything that's in your brain, anything that's in your heart, anything that's in your gut, just let it out. Like, you can just genuinely be who you are. There's no shame over here. Just express yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no need to feel like, even if it's something just kind of like in your head weird, because that's what people say. This is weird. I'm like, try me. Try me, you know? Like, I've hung out with all kinds of different types of individuals where it's just like they think it's weird. For me, it's not weird. For me, it's like actually normal. Then they're like, holy, you know, like I met like somebody who finally like is like super cool with just being like, I can actually express who I am. It's like, of motherfucking course you can, my love.
Yeah.
There are hidden gems all over the fucking world. It's just making time and like actually leaving space for those type of people. And just know like not everyone's the same, you know, because I've been like, where there's this thing that's been going around where it's just like, oh my gosh, fucking people. It's just like, no, individuals, fucking individuals, you know, because it's like, it's not everyone, you know. They're like, I would say you're definitely a hidden gem. I would definitely say you're one of those people. That's why I had to reach out. I'm like, I gotta, you know, I'm like, there's hidden gems all over the place. I have some friends that are like, how do you make so many friends and just kind of like just interact with all these people? I'm like, because I don't like limiting myself. You already know this now, knowing me. I don't like limiting myself to just like one group of, you know, individuals. Like, I'm like, I want to know all spectrums, especially with the shenanigans that we're getting into. It's just really just catering to like different individuals and just kind of like going from there.
Yeah, totally. Well, and I think again that kind of speaks back to our conversation earlier about like building that resilience in your body, or like having the capacity to like hold curiosity, to meet people who are different than you, who like push your edges. Like, all of that is required for like novelty and to like, and it requires like an openness. And like, if you don't feel safe in your body, like that's the opposite of openness. Like, it is very much this sort of contraction, which is no judgment. It's just, it's some of these things that we're talking about today. I think, right, there's this like, well, why can't I do this, or why does this feel hard, or why does this feel scary, or why does it feel unsafe? And it's like, well, again, it like all comes back to the body. Is like,
oh yes, as you said that, I pointed to, I was like, I was doing this. I was like,
right.
Very, very true.
How does it feel in your body to do these things, you know?
And I love that part where you said you ask, people, let's make that like a wonderful habit. That's a great habit. It's like, before you go into something, really listening to your body and seeing, because your body will speak to you. Okay. Yeah. You know, I've done it a few times, not with like intercourse, but with other things. So that's definitely going to be something fun to do. So I'm definitely excited to start doing that, especially with like the individuals that I've been like kind of interacting with and just kind of like dancing around. That would be something fun to like actually do that. But yeah, no, I know, my love, that you have to go, and it's almost time. But I just wanted to wrap this up a little bit. Is there any questions that you have for me before we wrap this up, you wondrous, glorious soul? Oh yes, hold on. We got somebody who wants to add something. Go ahead.
Okay.
Let's hear it. We gotta wait for them to type. Go ahead, Vash. We're ready for you. But what is it? I'm just very grateful that you honestly like came on. I know I like reached out to you like randomly, and I was just like, I have to like have this person. Okay, confidence is power. And communication is the key to unlocking your confidence. Yes. Beautiful, Vash. Thank you. So that's actually one of my friends that I met actually in one of the Costco's. So
One of the what?
Costco's. So
At a-
long drawn out story. So I work in Costco's. I do marketing. Of all things, of course. It's like I just love talking to people. I just can't help myself. I mean, I do shows in Costco's where I run. So have you been in Costco?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Oh my god. You just get sucked into it. It's so hard. When you're in it, it's just like you just want to buy everything. You're just like, oh my god. You're just like it's like this and that and that.
Marketing, you know, you're doing a good job. You're like doing your job well.
But I love Costco. You know, Costco's my baby. You know that's been like carrying me. But no, I just love the individuals that are in there. But yeah, no, long drawn out story. I work in Costco's, and I was traveling all over the United States, and then one of the guys, he retired, and so I actually inherited Northern California. So that's like a great inheritance.
Yeah.
I'm like, hell yeah, this is fantastic. So anyone who spots me in Northern California will see I'm like just bouncing from store to store.
Nice.
Oh yeah, like big homie Vash. Rep, what's up? What's up? And yes, we did get it. Thank you so much for sending that beautiful message. But if there's anything else that you have for me, I'll let you go into your gloriousness and go be glorious and wonderful.
Thank you. That's my intention.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I love it. It's beautiful. Those pictures, though, people, go check them out.
They are sensational.
They're beautiful. Every time I see them, I'm just like, thank you and everything that is beautiful in this world. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, honestly, Gray Doolin, for coming on. Everyone, definitely, like I said, check them out. Watch this video. Share to anybody who needs this type of just energy, this type of communication, just knowing, yes, consent is sexy, party people, just to wrap this all up. And just being comfortable and asking your body for essentially permission, you know, because your body knows. It's like your mind is like, it gets into this whirlwind of just being like, where it's kind of just overthinking, and then really it's just the body's centered, especially when you have it where it is centered, it'll give you some answers. So those are definitely some things that I definitely got out of this. And I really, only if you're willing to, because I have so many more questions, because I know you're ready to go, to bring you on again some other time. That would be fucking fantastic. I would appreciate that.
Yeah. I love talking about this stuff always.
Thank you so much once again. Thank you, party people, for joining. You have a wonderful time.
You too. Thank you, Chris.
Of course.
All right. Bye.